Verse 10 still stand, but it's these four are added into it. And they come out of 1 Corinthians. In chapter 15, verse 34, it says, in some verses, some translations, they use the word awake, but it's actually think. And you're supposed to think to righteousness. Think about all the ways you can be, what is righteous in God's sight, and to think on it. And then it says, sin not. Well, that means not only don't get self-righteous, don't get legalistic, but don't make up your own version of what God's righteousness is. For some have not the knowledge of God, and I speak this to your shame. So, part of the offering is that we acknowledge and we give thanks that we have the knowledge of God. We have the mind of God, but we have access to the knowledge of God on all things. Again, we got to go back. The word is for us to think, and that doesn't mean take an emotional viewpoint. Okay, it means meditate on this, think about it, dwell on it, pray about it. In Hebrew, they would use Shelah.
Okay.
Pause and dwell, or pause and dwell deeply on what was just said. So, we have to look at it in the basis that we are given, as we show our willingness to obey, we are given greater and greater knowledge of God. And it's to our shame if we don't use it. Now, point number 2. Actually, partially begins with verse 56. The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. You don't know what sin is unless you have a law. And if you say the law's done away with, you're saying that everything you do is no longer sin. That there's no definition for sin. Everything's right in your own eyes. So, our thankfulness has to be revolving around the fact that we understand the glory in the law. That the law is love. It's spiritual and it's love. Did you notice that love doesn't go around trying to kill you?
Yep.
Steal from you?
Mm-hmm.
Lie about you? Condemn you at every little chance? So, when we keep that in mind, then we go into the second part of it. However, thanks be to God, our Father, which gives us the victory through our divine Master, Yeshua, Messiah. What's he saying? Part of this is that anything that we are weak in that leads us into sin, we have the ability to call on Yeshua for the strength to rise up in us to overcome it. Anything. And so part of the offering of the last day of unleavened bread is for the victories. We're thanking him and giving a praise offering to him for the victories. How much victory do we want in our life?
Oh, lots.
It's one thing to say it, yet it's another thing to make the offering match what our mouth is saying.
True. Then in verse 58 he goes, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be you steadfast. Don't let the wind blow you around, and don't let the opinions of others dissuade you from obeying. Unmovable. Don't set up your tent on a slippery slope. If you know something's wrong, the unmovable part is you don't move into an area where you're going to get tempted by it. No, it's just a common sense item. Don't make yourself unmovable. Stay on the immovable side and get away from it. Always abounding in the work of the eternal Lord of Yeshua, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in Yeshua. So, what we have here is that the other part of the offering, or the aspect of it in here, is that the work that we go to do will profit not only who we're sent out to do it for, but bring profit to us. And without the offering, we can't claim that profitability. And it's always for the last day of unleavened bread. Because you were supposed to have laid down the things that were a problem all during the week. So you're ready for victory. And presenting your offerings as you were claiming that victory. Number 3 is in 2 Corinthians number 1. It's blessed be the God, or even the Father, and I don't like the word even because it doesn't say that. The Father of our Divine Master, Yeshua Messiah. The Father of mercies. Now they're saying, happy, make him happy. That's how you bless God, make him happy. And the God, of all comforts. Who's the comforter?
Jesus.
The Holy Spirit. He was sent as our comforter, our governor. So we're supposed to make our Father happy, Yeshua happy, and the Holy Spirit happy by doing what?
Well, and laying down our problems and
Yeah, overcoming them, showing that. And in verse 4 it says, who comforts us in all our tribulation. So, this is actually a 3 and 4 item in here, because the comfort of in all our tribulation is, you see, no offering means
No comfort.
you're saying you don't want to be comforted when things go wrong for you. You don't want to see the way out. You don't want to have the strength to walk through it properly. That we may be able to comfort them which are in any trouble by the comfort with which or wherewith we ourselves are comforted by the Holy Spirit. So, if we're going to accept the comfort, we've got to be able to release comfort to others. You notice it didn't say criticize and condemn somebody that's in need, or somebody that isn't up to your standard of perfection. That takes the offering to acknowledge that you will not be downgrading those that haven't caught up to where you think you are. Okay? So, we want you to understand that none of this takes away from what was spoken out of the spring offerings. It's just the final completion for the full 14 points. Okay?